Yo, what's up, world? What's up, community? St. Louis mixed back again. So it's still pretty early on. I'm just still doing this for fun, just as a hobby. So I haven't like come up with like no official name or nothing yet, cause I don't even know if it's going to be a thing yet. Again, I I just love battle rap, and I don't really have anybody in my immediate circle. My circle pretty small, but none of my peoples is really into battle rap like that. So I don't really have somebody to like really dissect and discuss it with the way I like to do any topic for real, especially bars. So, talking to y'all, my lovely community out there. Uh, so look, we just gonna review that. They dropped the Charlie Clips and K Shine battle on the app. Let me just say, I know a lot of people like to make jokes about the app and whatnot, but man, if you ain't got it, get the app. Get the app, bro. It's worth it. There's a lot of fire content that they dropped on there. They're doing this new series called Standoff. I'm gonna do a separate video reviewing that. It was a QP and Emerson Kennedy. I think that's gonna be fire. Especially they get the right kind of MCs on there. Those both of those guys are very lyrical. So for this format that they shot it in, it was perfect. So we'll talk more about that in the other video. But the point of that is get the app. Uh, it's just way worth it. And once they start dropping these Genesis battles, you'll be able to watch them right away. So since there's no more VOD, did away with that after we shut down the Caffeine stream. But anyway, back to the Charlie Clips K Shine joint. So man, on the second watch, because I watched it live on the Caffeine stream, and watching it live, there were a couple of good moments, but I kind of felt underwhelmed. I think um, I was kind of waiting to see because they did a good job of selling it beforehand and saying, even though we real cool, we got a lot of common ground. We're not gonna like hold back on each other. We're not gonna be, personal, get too crazy, but we're still gonna battle. It's gonna be a real battle. We're not just gonna come and take a check and bounce. Um, which I don't know how that worked out with the free event, but I'm sure they got something. I know they got something. But anyway, so yeah, I was pretty excited to see, like as far as the competition goes, like who's gonna really be able to kind of get over that threshold and like really go at the other one and make an impact. Again while still being respectful and stuff. So just breaking it down round by round. Again, this was my second watch through, and just for y'all, so I could. Usually on my recaps, I do them like right after the event, so I don't say any bars. I like keep that, you know, for later when the video drops. But since it's out now on the app and a million people can watch it, I'll talk about some bars and videos that I recap that are already out on the app and have been out for a while and it's got some reactions on there. I'll talk about a few bars here and there just because it's less giving it away. You know what I mean? So in round one, Clip starts off. He's Clips warming up using some kind of. Okay, so let me just tell you right off the bat. Like one of the things with me is I'm a big fan of bars. I'm a big fan of lyricism. I also really respect performance too. Don't get me wrong. But again, I'm one of them old school fans. One of them get your but from back in the day, again like this, I started watching and got enthralled with battle rap with a lot of the classic moments. Um, so I'm just a big fan of the bars, originality, stuff like that. So I've been watching battle rap so consistently so long that I just have become kind of a harsh critic. And that's not to be cocky or anything like that. It's just been a long time fan. I know what I like. I know bars. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I can be a rougher critic than most because I kind of judge because I've watched it so much now. I've heard so many bars. I kind of judge battles now off of consistency. Your performance and poise throughout the round. Can you get through it clean? You're not stumbling. Is your content, even if it isn't room shaking every bar, is it at least still good material? What's the quality of it? Are you performing it well? Is it a little too recycled? So that's my biggest thing. Is like I feel like the biggest problem with my critique of rounds is that if I've heard that bar or something pretty similar too many times, I almost don't even count it. Like I almost don't even count it for people. Like as far as like the reaction button on the app. I mean, like not saying they don't get credit for writing and delivering that bar well. Not that's not what I'm saying. Just like if I'm giving reaction or giving points on scoring, like I score off of lines that I hear that like actually get a reaction out of me. You know that the difference between that like hollow toe looks. You know what I'm saying? So once I get that, I just shit it face. Like when that happens, then I'm like, okay, now you got my attention. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now I'm paying attention. So as far as the first round, I'm just gonna be real, man. There was, for me, and I know this is partially a style thing. There just wasn't a lot from clips that just, made me very, got me very hyped. No disrespect to clips. Again, he was doing well, very consistent. He did do some freestyling. At the towards the end of the round, there was a dude started heckling him, so that part was pretty cool. He started off, talking about deuce bulls and how they travel in your body, and ended with a rise and shine bar, and at one point in the round, I don't know, it just was kind of dry for me. At one point in the round, he even had a Viagra bar, like a whole kind of scheme about it, and it was just kind of, I ain't from the East Coast, I'm from St. Louis, you know what I'm saying? We don't do all that pause craziness, but like, as a community, we say pause, and like that shit, pause, bro. Anyway, he did a shine impression mid round. That was pretty funny. Talking about like having hand sanitizer. Like what did he say? I had a gun clean in my hand, like sanitizer or something like that. And he said it like kind of with Sean's kind of sing songy flow that he used sometimes. It was kind of funny. He had this Impossible Burger King bar that it just didn't do it for me, man. It just didn't do it. And that's when the dude started heckling him, because after he spit the line, he was saying, if y'all think Sean 30 and him, he promoting the impossible more than Burger King. And just no. And so dude in the crowd was like, man, that sucked. That was kind of funny. But then Clips flipped it on him, got the crowd rocking, but even to me, the freestyle rebuttal, so like basically the response was, yeah, well, your mama, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's out there toppy, you know what I'm saying? Them whoppers. But then he went on to be like, yo, how could you disrespect a black man during Black History Month? Like through his water bottle, and everybody went bananas. But I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. So I don't want to be a hater though, because again, I respect the craft, and I know how much time and preparation goes into what they do and getting on that stage for all those people, the Caffeine situation. So salute the Clips, man. Salute. He's definitely a legend in the game. Definitely somebody who has a lot of great classic moments. He has a lot of stuff that I do like, so I don't want to come off as a hater. Just being honest. Round one, and I out the gate with Sean's first round, I feel like there's a lot of bars that were kind of getting slept on. So one thing I noticed immediately with this Caffeine crowd was they was not there for the bars. Not that night. Like, it was the more readily available, right there in front of you, and not to disrespect any people that got reaction, or because they did cheer for some bars. And listen, I'm not dissing the Caffeine crowd, salute to y'all, but like, come on, man, like there were some bars that was said in all the battles, really. But okay, let me focus on this. Stay focused. In this battle, in Sean's first, when he opened up his first round, he had a bar about how Clips used to be nice, and now he's trying to get back to that, back to the future. And he was saying how to get back to the future, you always need a fan in the pick. No reaction, none. And not saying that was earth shaking, but it was just like, ooh, okay. Again, for me, not something that I've heard super often. You don't hear a lot of Back to the Future bars. He had a drive-by, Clips rolling like a motion pick. He had a bar saying Clips that you have, Clips would be blown out next to Boosie, like Lil Webby, whatever, talking about how Webby used to do his hair, whatever. That was alright. He had this bar where he said I had to clap so low. Charlie, she didn't even know and he like the way he performed, he like whispered and stuff, started creeping. You know, the crowd was rocking with that a little bit. That was funny to me. Then he had a bar talking about let's wait to see if Clips will make it or not. That's a cliffhanger, you know. Sorry, my bad, y'all. I'm trying to read these little notes. I was like shorthand scribbling it through while I'm watching the battle, like trying to pause it, write the battle down, get back. Okay, listen to what they're saying. It's early in my in my young career. I'm getting better. But then he did this will history repeat itself bar, but the way he did it was just like a Hitman remix. St. Louis stand up. In case you didn't know, I am from St. Louis, probably. Yes, St. Louis bias. St. Louis team all the way. That's neither here nor there. But I will admit if they lost though. But anyway, yeah. So he did this. Will history repeat itself? Will history repeat itself? And like, the funny thing was, Hitman was standing right there. He was like, kind of in the middle, but like one row back from right in the front, and like everybody was looking at him when he did it, and everybody was like, "Oh, Hitman, whoa, whoa, whoa," you know. That's true. Like Hitman already dusted it off. You know, it's nothing. Hitman already got shot. So anyway, okay, Sean also had a bar about how you gonna have slime dripping all over Nick's studios. You know, going at Nick Cannon and the Wild 'N Out thing. Hold on, what the heck did I write? Man, I'm bugging. Oh yeah, he said, guess which room I'm in. I have you playing. Guess which room I'm in with a home attendant. I have to edit that pause out. Man, it was like a buffer. But yeah, he said I have you playing. Guess what room I'm in with a home attendant. And he kind of went into this whole little like doctor medical scheme. He's like, guess which room you in. I'll have you with a smiley face chart playing. Guess what mood you in. It's kind of a pattern, a flow thing. Kind of this pocket he got into. He said, Blue Chuck and like talking about Clips in the casket, Blue Chuck and slacks like Snoop. And he did this whole thing. He kind of performed it out. Don't let it go to your head, brand Nubian. And then he went to this whole little, like this little pattern of saying the word Chuck a bunch of times. But it was cool though. You know, if a woodchuck, a chuck, and one chuck, a woodchuck, and a metal chuck. You know, it went into this whole flow. But the way he do, you know how K Sean does when he gets into them pockets and gets into them flows. And it just worked. It sounded good. So for me, I gave Sean the first round clearly. To me, it wasn't particularly close. But wait, there's more. So Clips comes back in the second. He has a line talking about DNA. He was like, "Yo, if you Coach K, tell Duke, it's suicide trying to go line for line with me." I wasn't mad at that. I've heard a lot of suicide line for line bars recently, but let me just say, the first person I ever heard use suicide line for line bar was my damn self, an old song. Anyway, there's neither here nor there. Might share that with y'all at some point. We'll see. This bar was fire to me. He said these ball heads ain't got no name like the MJ player in Live 99. And if y'all, I'm also a basketball head, video game head. If y'all remember the old lives, bro, when they had Jordan on the game but couldn't have Jordan on the game, but he was this rando player on the Bulls, number 99, the Baldy. Buddy's stats was, all the sliders was up, 98, 99, everything. Dude was a killer. Like, this is clearly Jordan. Like, this is clearly MJ. Y'all just trying to insult my intelligence now. But, nah, thank you. Thank you for the... But he was off limits, though. Like, he was so good, you couldn't even play with him with the homies. Like, you was whack if you picked him. So, anyway, that bar was fire to me. And it didn't get as much reaction as I thought it should have, because I was like, y'all niggas ain't play live? No. He was talking about a crackhead, cleaning the floor. I'm about to fuck Sean up. Not it. He did this whole like connect the dots scheme, and he was talking about how Sean always out here talking about busting his guns, but he on parole or probation or whatever. And he was like, man, your PO make you put your shot of your way quicker than 6ix9ine. Then he went into some more, to me, common used bars about Alonzo and the Russians. I'm like, I have, niggas rushing your van like more than Alonzo, and wrestling bars, Big Papa Shine. He said I have shining suits like the Bad Boy deal. Did some KOTD organic lines. And then the crowd was really not rocking with it. And I kind of understand it because, again, I feel like these bars were all just very, very common. They're used a lot. And I think that kills a lot of people's rounds, that momentum. But again, it's just me. I'm hard on rounds. There's been a lot of rounds that I see reviews from. People are like, that round was fire. They were going off, And the round is good. It's performed well. It's getting good reaction. But when I'm myself listening to it, it's just like I've heard some form of variation of all these bars that are spitting to the point where it doesn't get a reaction out of me, I don't know. I'm just a tough critic. But anyway, round 2 for Clips, he ends it because people ain't really reacting. So he was like, oh, okay, so y'all just going to react like I got chest rounds. Shots fired. Which, as everyone probably knows in the community, Chest got cooked. John Don strikes again. His rounds was not that good. So he took a little shot at Chest. Nice little freestyle by Clips. The freestyle was saving Clips early on. It was helping him to kind of maintain, keeping him from getting killed. Well, not killed, but, keeping it from being too one-sided. Round 2, Sean comes in. For me, up until this point, through the first 2 rounds when I get to the end, you'll see, to me, Shine is rapping better than Clips. Like, he's more lyrical, more intricate. He's performing better. So at this point, I'll just tell you, I have Shine up 2-0. But anyways, let me talk about the bars. He was talking about how if Smack ain't put him on the card, he was like, sorry, Caffeine, I'm gonna fuck this shit up. He had this bar where he was saying, he had this 52 card pickup bar. Nasty. He did a Bone Thug scheme, it was okay. He had a girl, flash titties on Clips, girls going wild bar, that was just not it. He even like mimed it out, like he was pulling his shirt. He didn't actually pull his shirt up, but he like, acted up. Not it, Sean. I like this bar. He's saying how he has so much potential, but now he got clipped wings. It was all right. Then he spit a MySpace bar. That's a no for me. Let's see what he spit his bar was kind of funny. He was like, real niggas ain't fucking with it. Prostates. That was funny. If you know, you know. He said a parodies, Clips, Chappelle Show. Chappelle Show bars, that's a no for me, unless, again, you do something very unique with it. Then he had another bar that was hilarious to me and hella slept on. He was saying how he violently deal with Clips, and he was saying, shit'll get dark for no reason, like elbows. Bro, I was crying, like, bro, what's wrong with you? Why would you write that? But he ain't lying, though. Elbows be black as hell, like, for no reason. Shout out to Sean for that bar, man, with the biology lesson. And then, like, kind of a fake choke, or not really. I think Sean just kind of was like, man, because it was a tough crowd. They wasn't rocking with nothing. And I felt like there were some bars I was slept on. There was some trash ones, too. Let's keep it honest. And then he kind of was just like, man, whatever. Like, I'm done. And then Clips didn't really say anything. Smack didn't really say anything. They didn't start playing no music or nothing, you know what I mean? So he was just like, all right, well, like he rapping in. But then Clips was about to start rapping in, too. So, like, they kind of like, And then Clips was like, oh, you did a Psych I Lied? And he was like, yeah, Psych I Lied. And he did some more bars, and then finished it out with a bar about putting clips on the shirt like cufflinks. For this particular bar, again, I like the idea. I like the concept. I just think it should have been put together differently. I just didn't like the way it was delivered. I'm gonna start doing another series about, just to show y'all like that I do understand bars. I'm not just some rando nappy-headed kid that just talked about battle rap. I'm gonna do this thing about bars that didn't really hit, but had a great concept, and I'm gonna rework them and like present them to y'all and say, hey, these bars didn't really hit. I think they had a lot of potential. What if he had presented it like this? Do you think this is better? Get my John out. Anyway, no shots fired. Like I said, John did exceptionally well. He struck again, and Chess is out of there. So yeah, round 2, I got Sean up 2-1. 2-zip clear. So battle's over at this point. But we go to the third round. Clips wakes up, man. Clips wakes up. And he starts off. He was like making fun of DNA and Shine, like y'all ain't the bad. Like you think y'all bad boys, y'all are not Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Kind of made me laugh. Um, then he gets into this whole thing about basically the overall scheme was questioning him and DNA as leaders and NWX as a team and how there's something shady, something shiesty, and people are always falling off and there's always a big breaking up, and people start doing way better once they leave the group. And just the way he put it together, first it seemed like it might be kind of, but then the way he started putting it together and following up his points, it kind of started to hit. At first it was a little shaky. He started off with Saga, talking about how they ain't take Saga to therapy, and then he got into some real pause-worthy jerk-off bars. Shout out to Clips for all the pause-worthy bars in this battle. And then I guess Jazz started kind of talking through his round, so he freestyled and eated her too, talking about how he'd throw Jazz out the crib like Uncle Phil, and like, dang, poor Jazz. Then he gets into this. To me, this was kind of slept on. He gets into this scheme about, Saga's last name is LeBron. He's Louis LeBron, and he does this whole scheme about Louis LeBron and NWX as far as basketball teams, and how they're the Lakers, but without LeBron, they're just the Pelicans. Bro, no react. And even Clips was kind of like, man, all right. No react. Fired. If you know, you know. Again, the Pelicans basically got the Lakers squad, just without LeBron. Because he traded everybody else. But I still rock LeBron. Team LeBron. What's up? But that was fire to me. Then he goes to Big T cooking. It starts, gets into a Big T tuna scheme about how, they didn't keep, they didn't help Big T and keep, prevent the tuna melt. Then he starts talking about how he, once he left, he was able to do really well with Rum and beat Rum in some people's eyes. And then he ends it with, he recites Big T's infamous, bunny ears behind his head. So he recites the whole thing, like all 4 bars, whatever it was. Whole crowd's rocking with him. It was fire. And then Clips flips it at the end. And he said, I got the piece in front of your eyes. I got disco fever. Like, acted it out. Haymaker. Shook the room. Then he goes into this Dragon Ball Z scheme, still cooking. Like Clips is wigging in the third. He was saying when he gets mad, he gets mad at K-Shine CD and he throws his disc more than Krillin. He spits a Ginyu Force bar. Man. Then he goes into this whole like resume scheme as far as like who he's battled. And then X Factor, because he says a line about how he like where's X Factor? I killed him. X Factor is standing right there on stage when he says the line. X Factor steps out during the round, like, what? Man, I'm right here. What you talking about? And so then he freestyles on X Factor. But Clips had clips for everybody that night, man. He was on one. He was drunk as hell afterwards. If you had the stream when he was talking to Champion, I said Clips was drunk more. Shout out to Clips. And then he like kind of ends it with this Jurassic Park scheme, like how K-Shine wasted his time with Dot Mob, and how if he would have had Rex and DNA, he would have made Jurassic Park. And like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it might be another one of those had potential bars, just need to be put together differently. Because on one hand, I was like, that's fire. On the other hand, I was like, that's corny. So one of them is incorrect. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll break it down for the other video series. Sean comes in round 3 and he does okay. Lower energy. Less of the bars were slept on to me personally and just weren't hitting. He starts off with something hilarious though. He's singing Return of the Mac, but he's like remixed it for Charlie Clips being fat. Return of the Fat. And he even does the whole, he looks at him, he's like, oh my God. It was funny. It was hilarious. He has a line, he was saying, oh, that's what he said. He said, NBA in the 60s, you think everybody playing Chuck. Nice. Finger licking like a paper cut. Nice. Then he had his other bar I thought was slept on. It was fire. He said, it'll be Chucky. Just Charles Soule and a dummy? Fire. Didn't really get a lot of reaction, though. Slick back. Get Chuck buried. Not bad. He was in a nice pocket when he spit that bar. He was saying, if you get slicked back, I'll get Chuck buried, and he was kind of in a nice little flow. He was saying I have a halo over Charlie. All dogs go to heaven. I think that's also a no for me. I'm not sure if it qualifies for the series. You know, I don't know. We'll call it something. We'll think we'll catch it in right place, wrong time, or two wrongs will make a right, or let me get it together now. Something like that. We'll think of something. Then he went to this whole house game about Charlie Clips. That was kind of cool. He ended it with, just take the blade and split him. He's like, it'll end with two sides to the story. He said you get the high sock and the low cut Taylor gang. Not bad. Didn't really get too much reaction. And then he kind of ended it with, I like shooting guns because I get a kick out of it. Not bad. But yeah, I think Clips won the third convincingly, clearly. So for me, I have K-Shine 2-1 in the battle. He wins the first 2 rounds and Clips wins the third. Now, surprisingly, you look at the votes on the app, and Clips is winning convincingly. Like, he's ahead by like 10,000 votes. It's like 48 to 38. And so, which I know may not sound like a lot, but on the app, that's a lot. The battles be a lot closer than that. If you don't know, get the app. Get the app. I don't even work for them. Just free promo, but it's worth it. But yeah, he's killing on the app. And when you're watching the battle, some of Clips' freestyle rebuttals, especially in the first round, I mean, shake the room, not the room, shake the zip code that they in. Like, everything shakes. And again, just for me personally, it just didn't do it for me like that. So I think he got a lot of steam. He got a lot of big push off of his first round and probably a lot of his rebuttals. People, to me personally, are overreacting to some of them because while I respect the skill, and that's part of the reason why I'm not that impressed by him, because I know Charlie Clips' level of skill, so I know what kind of freestyle rebuttals he's capable of. And that just wasn't it. Especially when you got people like Trez and A-Ward and Sharon out here doing the kind of freestyle stuff they doing. Big Cannon. And it's a different level these days. Geechee out here rebutting. I mean, everybody out here letting it fly. So, yeah, like, come on, Clips. I know what you can do, bro. Come on. But maybe he gets paid too much now. You're like, man, I ain't giving him all that. Like, you got to say that for wilding out, bro. You know? Y'all excuse my crazy hair. Got to get my joints retwisted. But anyway, so yeah. That's how I call it, man. 2-1 on the first rewatch for the Genesis Caffeine event. 2-1 for K-Shine, the first 2 rounds, and I got Clips clearly in the third. Again, I just do this for fun. It's a hobby. I'm just here for the dialogue, man. Just here for the dialogue. I like having discussions in the comments and stuff. So let me know what you think. If you disagree, you agree. Tell me what you think about the right place, wrong time, or let me get it together, or whatever type of idea of discussing bars that were almost there. Didn't hit, but just needed a little tweaking. You guys have those kind of thoughts. Anything similar to that. Again, just hit me up in the comments, man. Let's talk. Let's work. Let's chop it up. But yeah, appreciate you checking me out, man. Louis Barr signing out.